The truth about the 7 types of chosen ones and their secret powers. We live in a world that constantly tells us to blend in, to follow the script, to walk the path laid out by others. But deep within, you've always known there's something different about you. There's a fire that doesn't go out, a sense that you are meant for something much greater than the ordinary. Have you ever felt like you don't quite fit, like your soul came from another place? That's not your imagination, it's the whisper of your calling. And in this sacred journey, I want to reveal to you something that has been kept secret for centuries, the 7 types of chosen ones, and the untold powers they carry. These are not just archetypes or myths, they are living patterns encoded in the soul. And if you are one of them, your entire life will start to make sense. But first, let's ask the question that breaks the veil. What if everything you thought was wrong with you was actually the sign you are chosen? The world is full of noise, of distraction, of illusions. Yet those who are chosen feel the pull of something deeper, something real. They are the ones who wake up in the middle of the night with visions of other worlds, or who feel emotions so deeply it's as if they have lived 1,000 lifetimes. And that's because they have. You see, the first truth we must confront is this: the chosen ones are not new souls. They are ancient, recycled through time, carrying codes, wisdom, and missions that stretch across dimensions. Each of the 7 types of chosen ones has a role to play in this world. Some are here to awaken others, some to protect, some to rebuild what has been lost. And their secret powers are not fantasy, they are spiritual technologies, activated only through awareness, discipline, and awakening.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
I remember when I first realized I was different. It wasn't through a grand vision or a booming voice from the sky. It was in the silence, sitting alone in a forest, feeling a presence that no one else could perceive. It was in the pain, suffering through loss, misunderstanding, and exile, yet knowing intuitively that these trials were tests, training. You felt it too, haven't you? That your suffering has a purpose, that your loneliness is a preparation, that your life is not random, it's a coded path, a divine sequence leading you to remember who you are. You are not broken, you are becoming. The first type of chosen one is the Awakener. These are the souls who, often through immense personal struggle, become beacons of light for others. Their power lies in their ability to shatter illusions, to speak truth even when it's uncomfortable. Have you ever noticed that people either love you or can't stand you? That's not a flaw. That's the Awakener energy. Your frequency destabilizes illusions. People can't hide their shadows around you. You walk into a room, and the energy shifts not because you try, but because your soul demands authenticity. But this gift comes with a cost. Awakeners often face betrayal, rejection, and even spiritual attack. Why? Because systems of control fear them. They are the ones who break chains. Their secret power is their voice, not just speech, but presence. When they speak from their soul, entire timelines shift. The second type is the Guardian. These are the protectors, often quiet, deeply intuitive, and intensely loyal. You might be a guardian if you've always felt the need to shield others, to hold space, to stand between chaos and innocence. Even as a child, you carried an energy beyond your years. Guardians often feel exhausted, not just physically, but energetically, because they are constantly absorbing and transmuting the energies around them. Their secret power is energetic alchemy. They can take darkness, fear, even hatred, and dissolve it through love. But they must learn to protect their own energy. Guardians often struggle with boundaries, and until they master this, they will be drained. If you are a guardian, ask yourself, Am I protecting others at the cost of myself? Your gift is sacred, but it must be used wisely. Then there is the seer. These chosen ones operate in the realm of visions, dreams, and timelines. Their inner world is a portal, and they often receive messages through symbols, synchronicities, and patterns. Seers are often dismissed by society as too sensitive or delusional, but in truth, they are perceiving layers of reality most cannot. If you've seen visions of events before they happen, or had dreams that later came true, you may be a seer. But the path of the seer is not easy. Without grounding, they can become lost in the astral, disconnected from the body. Their secret power is clarity, but it must be anchored truth. What good is vision if it's not translated into action? A true seer becomes a bridge between the unseen and the seen. If you are a seer, your task is to trust your intuition, even when others don't believe you. Truth doesn't need permission. The fourth type is the healer. These chosen ones are conduits of restoration. Whether through hands, words, or mere presence, their energy recalibrates others. Healers are often drawn to spiritual work, alternative medicine, or simply being a safe space for others. But here's the hidden truth. Most healers are made through pain. They have suffered deeply, and it is through their own healing that they learn how to guide others. Their secret power is empathy, not sympathy, but deep resonance with the soul of another. But this gift can become a curse if they do not learn to differentiate between healing and saving. Healers are not here to rescue people. They are here to activate self-healing. If you are a healer, ask yourself, am I giving to be needed or giving to empower? Your gift is sacred, but it requires discernment. Each of these types is powerful. None is better than another. They are facets of a divine spectrum, and each has a mission encoded in their soul. But most chosen ones don't remember. Why? Because the world trains them to forget. From an early age, they are told to conform, to suppress their gifts, to numb their feelings. But pain is the alarm clock of the soul. Trauma is the teacher. And when a chosen one reaches the edge of their breaking point, something extraordinary happens. They awaken. Not because they wanted to, but because their soul had no choice. And this is where we must pause and look within. Who are you really beneath the name, the job, the role? What ancient energy lives in your bones? What mission did you forget the moment you were born? The answers are not out there, they are within you, waiting to be remembered. This is only the beginning. There are still 3 more types of chosen ones, and their secret powers will shake the very foundation of what you think is possible. But more than that, we'll explore how to activate your gifts, how to protect your energy, and how to step fully into your divine mission in this lifetime. Because the world doesn't need more followers, it needs awakened leaders. It needs you. Your pain was the portal, the final 3 chosen types revealed. Have you ever wondered why your life has felt like a battlefield of emotions, losses, and strange synchronicities? Why you've walked through fires that others couldn't even imagine, and somehow you're still standing? Maybe you've mistaken your endurance for mere survival. But what if I told you that your pain was never punishment but initiation, a sacred passage, a portal, one that only the chosen ones walk through? And now, as we cross into the deeper layers of this mystery, 3 more types of chosen ones emerge from the shadows, souls whose powers are often misunderstood, feared, or hidden even from themselves. But once revealed, they awaken something ancient in us, something that cannot be silenced anymore. The 5th type of chosen one is the alchemist. They are the shapeshifters, often reborn many times in a single lifetime. You might be an alchemist if your life has been a series of deaths and resurrections, losing everything, only to transform and rise again with even more clarity and strength. Alchemists are not afraid of chaos because they understand that chaos is the birthplace of transformation. Yet their path is not smooth. They often attract crisis not because they are unlucky, but because their soul signed up to master transmutation. Their secret power is the ability to turn pain into power, trauma into transcendence, and limitations into liberation. But there's a catch: alchemists must be brutally honest with themselves. They can't hide behind spiritual bypassing. They must face the fire, walk into it willingly, and allow it to burn away everything false. If you are an alchemist, ask yourself this: what have I been resisting that is secretly trying to transform me? When you stop resisting, you become unstoppable. Then comes the oracle. These beings are not just intuitive, they are timelines embodied. Their presence alone can shift the future. Often they carry deep ancestral wisdom, channel messages from unseen realms, and can sense what is coming before it arrives. The oracle doesn't just predict the future, they feel the pulse of it moving through them. If you have ever spoken words you didn't plan, only to realize they were exactly what someone needed. If you've ever felt tears rise in your eyes without reason, sensing the collective grief or joy of the planet, you might be an oracle. But here's the truth most oracles don't want to admit: their gift is lonely. They see what others don't, and that can isolate them. Their secret power is divine timing, knowing when to speak and when to remain silent, when to act and when to wait. But they must learn the art of grounding, or they risk drifting into disconnection. If you are an oracle, reflect on this. What truth are you afraid to speak, because you know it will change everything? When you stop fearing your voice, you become a mirror for the divine. And now, finally, the seventh type, the rebel, the wild soul, the one who refuses to be tamed. These chosen ones were born to break systems, to dismantle illusions, to challenge the status quo with a fire that burns from within. You might be a rebel if you've always questioned authority, if you felt disgusted by injustice, or if you've been labeled too much, too loud, or too different. You weren't born to fit in, you were born to break open. But the rebel's path is not about destruction for its own sake. It's about sacred disruption. Their secret power is frequency disruption. They walk into systems of control, and their very presence begins to unravel the lies. But here's the danger: unhealed rebels become cynical, bitter, and chaotic. They must channel their fire into focus, or they burn themselves out. If you're a rebel, ask yourself, am I burning bridges or building new paths? When your rebellion becomes rooted in love, it becomes a revolution. Now we've uncovered all 7 archetypes, but this is not mythology. This is a map of the soul. Each type represents a frequency, and your soul may carry more than one. You may feel the resonance of the oracle and the healer, or the guardian and the rebel. That's because your soul is multidimensional. These types are not cages, they are doorways. And the more you walk through them, the more your true essence is revealed. But this leads us to a deeper question, one that few are willing to ask. If I am chosen, then what exactly have I been chosen for? Because knowing your type is only the beginning. The real journey begins when you activate your gift, when you stop hiding, when you take full responsibility for your light. The world is not waiting for more information. It's waiting for integration, for embodiment, for you to remember who you are and why you came. The pain you've endured wasn't to break you, it was to prepare you. Every wound, every betrayal, every dark night of the soul was a test, a refinement, a sacred initiation into your power. And now that you stand on the other side, you have a choice to go back to sleep or to rise into the fullness of your destiny. And this is where it gets even deeper, because in the next chapter we will explore how to activate these powers, how to survive the spiritual attacks that often come for chosen ones, and how to protect your energy while stepping into your mission. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs your frequency, raw, undiluted, divine. The spiritual war they don't want you to see, how to activate and protect your power. Now that you've begun to remember who you are, now that the veil has been lifted and the 7 types have been revealed, the question becomes unavoidable. What do you do with this power? Because the truth is, the moment you awaken to your soul's purpose, something else awakens too. A resistance. A force not born from within you but around you. A spiritual war that has been silently waged across dimensions, timelines, and generations. And the moment a chosen one remembers, that war becomes very personal. But fear not. Because you were never meant to run, you were meant to stand, to rise, and to protect the flame you've carried for lifetimes. And this flame is not just metaphorical, it's energetic. It's your soul signature, and it must be guarded, nurtured, and activated. Have you ever noticed that right after a powerful spiritual breakthrough, right after a moment of deep clarity or peace, chaos seems to follow? A sudden argument, an unexpected loss, a wave of depression or self-doubt. That's not coincidence. That's interference. Because when you begin to vibrate at a higher frequency, you disrupt the matrix of control that feeds off unconsciousness. You become visible to forces that prefer you asleep. These energies are not always dramatic. Sometimes they come in the form of distraction, addiction, toxic relationships, or even your own mind turning against you. This is the spiritual war they don't want you to see. Not because it's hidden, but because it's subtle. And yet, the most dangerous battles are the quiet ones. So how do you protect yourself? How do you activate your gift without being consumed by it? The first step is awareness. You must realize that your energy is currency. Every thought, every emotion, every interaction is an exchange. And most of us are leaking energy without even knowing it. If you are a seer and you're constantly surrounded by noise, your gift will become clouded. If you are a healer and you're constantly giving to those who refuse to grow, your light will dim. If you are a rebel and you're fighting blind battles, your fire will burn you instead of lighting the way. The key is energetic sovereignty, understanding that your energy field is sacred territory. Not everyone deserves access to it. Begin by creating spiritual boundaries. These are not walls of fear, they are structures of power. Daily grounding practices are essential. Go into nature, touch the earth, speak to the sky, return to the breath. If you're not grounding, you're floating, and floating chosen-ons become easy targets. Protect your sleep. That's when most spiritual attacks happen. Before bed, shield your energy with intention, visualize golden light around your body, call in your guides, and command that only energies of love and truth are allowed in your space. This isn't superstition. This is energetic hygiene. But protection alone is not enough. You must also activate. And activation comes through action. You cannot hide your gift and expect it to grow. The universe does not respond to potential, it responds to movement. So speak the truth even if your voice shakes. Create, even if no one watches. Heal, even if they don't thank you. When you move in alignment with your soul, you send a signal to the universe, I remember who I am. And in return, the universe begins to rearrange itself around you. Synchronicities increase. Allies appear. Doors open. But none of that happens until you act. Still, the journey is not without risk. One of the greatest dangers for chosen ones is isolation. You may feel that no one understands you. You might even start to believe that your path is a curse. But isolation is a lie. There are others like you, spread across the planet. Awakening, remembering, rising. You are not alone. And one of the most radical things you can do is to find your soul tribe. People who speak your language, not just with words, but with presence. People who don't dim your light, but reflect it. Community is not a luxury, it's a shield. It creates resonance fields that make you stronger, more resilient, more unshakable. And finally, remember this: your power is not what you do. It's who you are when everything else falls away. It's the stillness beneath the chaos, the clarity beneath the confusion, the love beneath the fear. That's what they've been trying to distract you from. That's what the war has always been about. Not your body, not your mind, but your essence, your light, your ability to remember, to choose, and to create. So I ask you, chosen one, what will you do with the power you've been given? Will you hide it, waiting for permission that never comes? Or will you rise, even trembling, and let the world see what divinity looks like in human form? Because in the final part of this journey, we will go even deeper. We'll explore what happens when you fully step into your mission, how to transmute collective pain into purpose, and how to live as a chosen one in a world that is still asleep. The mission you can't escape: living as a chosen one in a sleeping world. Once you have awakened, there's no going back. You can try to fit in again, to silence your inner knowing, to pretend the dream didn't happen. The signs weren't real, the pain wasn't divine, but it doesn't work. Because once your soul remembers its mission, the old life begins to rot. It becomes too small, too loud, too shallow. You begin to see through the illusion, and the illusion begins to push back. This is the great paradox of being chosen. You are here to bring light, but the world will often greet your light with shadows. You're here to build the new, while still navigating the ruins of the old. And that is no small task. It requires a strength that goes beyond the physical. It's the strength of staying true to your essence in a world that has forgotten its own. Living as a chosen one is not about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about walking with your wounds, not hiding them. When you show up in your truth, fully embodied and unapologetic, you give others permission to do the same. But here's what most people won't tell you: your presence alone is disruptive. Not because you're trying to be, but because your frequency exposes what's false. Your love reveals the absence of it. Your clarity threatens confusion. And your mission, whether you've fully stepped into it or not, is a mirror to those who have abandoned theirs. So what happens? You get tested, misunderstood, sometimes even hated. But this is not failure, this is confirmation. It means you're doing the work. So what is this mission you can't escape? It's not one job, one project, or one moment of impact. It's a way of being. It's how you breathe, how you speak, how you walk into a room and shift the atmosphere without saying a word. It's how you hold love in a world that weaponizes fear. It's how you stay open in a world that numbs. Your mission is your vibration. And the more you align with it, the more your life becomes a living transmission. Even your silence becomes sacred. But let's be honest, this path is lonely at times. Because while you're waking up, many around you are still asleep. They'll mock your sensitivity, laugh at your visions, question your intuition. They'll tell you to be realistic, to calm down, to stop dreaming so big. And in those moments you will be tempted to shrink. Don't. Shrinking doesn't serve the world. It only delays your destiny. You weren't born to be understood by everyone, you were born to remember what everyone else forgot. And your remembering is contagious. Every time you speak your truth, someone else finds the courage to speak theirs. Every time you refuse to settle, someone else wakes up from their numbness. You are the permission slip your ancestors prayed for. But to live this mission fully, you must anchor yourself in something deeper than approval. You must be rooted in your soul. That means learning to sit with your discomfort, to witness your ego without judgment, to embrace the unknown not as a threat, but as a companion. The chosen ones are not fearless, they are those who walk towards fear with their eyes open. They know that the unknown is the birthplace of miracles, and they trust that their path, though lonely at times, is never truly walked alone. There is always guidance, always protection, always purpose. And here's the most sacred truth of all: your mission isn't just for you. It's part of a larger grid, a divine network. Every chosen one is a node in a cosmic pattern. When you heal, that healing ripples through your lineage. When you speak, your voice echoes through timelines. When you awaken, others do too, even if they never meet you. This is why your light matters. It's not just about saving the world. It's about remembering that the world was never lost, it was asleep. And now, because of you, it's beginning to stir. So what do you do now? You live. Fully, fiercely, authentically. You build what you came to build, whether it's a movement, a message, a community, or a moment of silence that changes someone's life. You stop waiting for the perfect time. You stop apologizing for your power. You stop hiding your magic, because the time is now. The earth is calling, the veil is thinning, and the mission is no longer optional. You are not here by accident. You are not here to suffer endlessly. You are not here to be small, silent, or safe. You are here to remember, to rise, to reclaim your place in a world that desperately needs your frequency. You are here to remind humanity of its divinity by being a living example of what's possible when a soul refuses to forget itself. So I ask you one final time, will you rise? Will you walk your path, even when it's hard, even when it's lonely, even when no one claps for you? Because if you do, you will ignite a light so powerful, so ancient, so undeniable, that even the stars will remember your name. This is your mission. This is your moment. And you were never meant to be ordinary.